All right. We are back in Belmar at the podcast studio. We have a very special guest on today. We have a guy I've known for 5 years now, since the beginning of COVID, just about 5 years now, and who runs the organization Dine On Us. We have Cliff on today. Cliff, how are you today?
Very good, Tom. Thanks for having me here today.
Thanks for coming in. So, and we have Marc as our co-host today, as always, or as of usual always. So, Cliff, we've known each other since the days of early COVID.
Yeah.
When people said to me at the beginning of COVID, "Oh, you got to talk to this guy, Cliff. He's doing great things. You got to go record him and do a video of him." And we did. And the first video we ever did for you was at Jersey Coast Appliances over in Toms River on Route 37. Big Brothers was getting a pickup of meals, and from there we've done a lot of things together.
Yeah, I thought about that on the way up. I mean, what a ride we've had together.
Yeah.
I mean, we met during the height of chaos.
It's crazy.
During the height of
with all masks on.
I mean, our whole world went 180 degrees. And I thought about that, everything we had done up to that point just switched in a day. My regular job, my full-time job is restaurant supplies. I work for a Singer Equipment Company. I've been working for them for over 30 years. And once COVID hit, the first rule that was implemented was restaurants have to shut down. Restaurants have to shut down, just like that.
Yeah.
My livelihood was gone, and all these restaurants who were supporting me my whole life, not only through work, but through all the charity work we were doing. I mean, helped us, and we'll get into that next. But for 10 years, they were helping us up to that point on our previous mission.
Mm-hmm.
So they would donate their food, they would donate their time, all their product.
Yeah.
And one day they were told to shut down. I said, whoa, we can't just let this happen. I said, they've helped us forever. Now it's our turn to return the favor. I said, we are going to switch gears. Instead of asking them for donations, we're going to raise money so we could buy meals from these restaurants to help them stay in business. So that was our first mission, to buy meals, and we provided them to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we met.
That was the first one. Was that the first meals you donated?
I think that was the first meals we purchased.
Okay.
The first meals we purchased and supplied to Big Brothers Big Sisters was when we met you at Jersey Coast Appliance with Ralph, because Ralph was very connected to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
And I've been a Big Brother for 10 plus years now. So Big Brothers had a special place for me too. So it was kind of the stars aligned on that one.
Yeah, brought us all together. So we started buying these meals, and the momentum just went crazy. All of a sudden, we started getting donations. Now, our previous venture was a very small budget. We would do maybe $30,000 a year in purchases and things like that. COVID starts, and we start buying these meals. And within the first week, we were buying 10,000, 20,000. Within a couple months, on our own, we'd raised $400,000.
That's incredible.
That's an amazing story.
People were so behind it because, it was just a time. It was a weird time, and everybody wanted to be impactful and helpful. And again, you were there to say, "Look, if you give me X amount of dollars, I can produce X amount of meals and get them to people."
So for that first year, we then got some state grants. We raised $1 million. 1 year, $1 million. We purchased 100,000 meals from all our supporting restaurants. What was that? 100,000 meals at $10 a meal.
Yeah.
100,000 meals at $10 a meal to help keep our restaurants going.
That's amazing.
Until this passed. I said it was like the greatest feeling, accomplishment.
But that's great that you put $1 million back into
the economy, into the restaurants. I mean, we had restaurants reach out to us and said we didn't know how we were going to survive. We didn't know how we were going to survive. I said, this is the least we could do for all you've given to us. Like I said, we had a previous venture where we connected with the Big Brothers and Sisters. I think 4 years prior, my daughter was going to Monsignor Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
And once she became a freshman at Donovan, there was a Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
Yep.
So she would go there once a week, and she informed us that these children that they were going to support weren't being fed.
Yeah.
So it's like they were starting to get snacks and this, and we're like, well, we could help that. We could do something. So we started partnering with our restaurants again. Most of the restaurants would donate a lunch, or we would purchase a lunch, and our daughter would bring these meals with the school to the Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
Yeah.
And this one meal in the mid-afternoon turned out to be their only healthy meal of the day.
Wow.
They weren't getting breakfast. They weren't getting lunch.
Yeah.
They would eat our healthy meal and not have dinner when they get home. I was like, it was amazing, what an impact.
It comes to mind. I mean, as you're talking, I can imagine these kids when they grow up, and they had that one meal when they were getting nothing, and the impact that you guys are making now that's going to impact the rest of our lives moving forward, right? I mean, I think it's warranted to kind of take a step back and hear your story, why you started all of this, right? Like, what got you to this place where you felt the need to help others, right? Because in a moment where the whole world felt like it was stopping, it was easy to like block everybody off and just care about yourself. But you did something that most people really wouldn't want to do, is help others. So what started this journey?
There was something in me for a number of years that wouldn't give me peace. I wasn't settled. I just had questions. Mm-hmm. So if you don't mind, I'll go back to where it started. After high school, I joined the service with 5 buddies. I had the buddy program. Of course, once we got our orders, we all split up. Didn't see any of my friends again. I finished my boot camp. I got stationed in Mayport, Florida. From Mayport, Florida, got deported out to the Mediterranean. So I'm on our 6-month deployment, and you're in the Mediterranean Ocean, and at the time I had no experience with ships, no experience with boats. Don't know why I went to the Navy, because I got seasick every day.
Oh, God.
Every day. But I also found out that the Navy, the ships we were stationed on, only had enough refrigeration room for about 4 days of fresh food. Produce, eggs, dairy, meats. We had about 4 days. We were on the water anywhere from 30 to 40 days at a clip. So what do you do after 4 days? You're having powdered milk, powdered eggs. Oh, it was terrible. Terrible. So we pull into one of our ports, which was Cannes, France. Me and 2 shipmates were on a mission. We're like, listen, we haven't eaten in a month. We're in France. We're going to find the best food ever. We go on a voyage, and this is back in the 80s, 87. There was nothing. No GPS, no Yelp, no help. So we just start walking. And we must have walked for, felt like hours, and just walked in circles. Couldn't find anything. Found a development. We're walking through development. We're like, we're going to have to leave soon. What are we going to do? Out of nowhere, a random couple in Cannes, France, comes out of their home. A husband and wife comes out of their home and says, can we help you guys? You look lost. Like, yeah, we're in the U.S. Navy. We're about to go back out to sea. We haven't eaten in a month. We just want a meal. We can't find a restaurant. They're like, there's nothing close by. There's like no restaurants near for miles. We're like, oh, man. They're like, you know what? Why don't you come on inside? Invited us into their home. Made us steak and eggs. 37 years ago, and I can still see that plate. That was the best meal I think I've ever eaten to this day. Steak and eggs. It's like, oh my gosh, this random couple just invites us into their home. We go back out to sea, and we're living like kings. We're like, this is everybody's still hungry. Everybody's still starving, eating crackers, eating everything else. I said, I still have steak. I still smell the steak. I still taste the steak.
You still feel it.
I said, this is great. I said, I don't have to eat again for a month. So we're back out to sea, and we start, we're on a deployment, looking for, peace, but, we're keeping an eye on Russia. So we're on watch, and I was sonar. That was my job, sonar. So I had to wear earmuffs for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours a day, and I'm just listening to sounds. And I hear something. I start to hear something. Sounds like a propeller. Doesn't sound like one of ours. Hear something. Now, before we can make any type of call, we have to confirm with radar. So I'm on sonar. We have to confirm with radar. Sonar, radar. Do you see what I'm hearing? We don't see anything. We don't see anything. And then we have a radar, a sonar. I said, I see something right here. I see it. Give them the coordinates. I said, right here, there is something. I hear a noise. I hear a propeller. I can see a blip. Radar can't confirm it. We're going back and forth. Now it's getting heated.
Yeah.
We're talking nice right now. But when we're getting stressed out, the words coming out of our mouth are not this nice, not this kind. We are throwing down with each other.
Good old
screaming.
sailors.
Yeah, we had the full sailor mouth going on. What the? I'm hearing this right here. I see it. I can't confirm. In sight, on the horizon, pops up a Russian sub. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. I can still see it. We're like, oh. We're screaming. We're like going crazy. Then the captain catches in. He goes, what? I forget it. You want to talk about all hell breaking loose? Captain goes nuts. He puts out the order, shut all noise, dead in the water, cut the motors, everything. We couldn't breathe. We couldn't make a sound. All lights, no exposed lights, because radar, they're up now.
Yeah.
They can see us. They got the periscope up. They can see us. We go pitch black, and we're just holding our breath, literally holding our breath. And the sub turns and goes away. We're like, man, that could have been it. That close to like making a mistake that almost cost us our lives.
Good thing you had the steak and eggs in you.
Oh, good thing I had a full belly.
I
like,
know.
Man, at least I would have gone down full.
The Russians would have been like, what's that rumbling sound?
Surprised they didn't hear your stomach.
My stomach growling. You know, an empty stomach when you don't eat for a month. You know, you're like,
oh, man.
It's not going to settle right.
So
we go back out on our mission. We're training more. We're headed towards the Persian Gulf. So we start going to the Persian Gulf, and there's a saying called the line of death. Once you cross the line of death, you're in the Persian Gulf, and it's serious.
Pretty dangerous.
So we go in, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get a change of orders call. They say, Sims, pull out of the Persian Gulf. You dock in Yugoslavia. I'm like, all right, what's going on? The Stark takes our place. Stark goes into the Persian Gulf. 2 hours later, the Stark gets hit by a missile. Saddam Hussein launched the missile, hit the Stark in sonar. In sonar, I would have either been working or sleeping.
Wow.
I mean, sent chills. I mean, we all went numb. We all went quiet. We're like, what just happened? That should have been our ship.
mm-hmm.
That should have been us. So we start coming home from our deployment, and we're just like, man, why are we coming home? We shouldn't be coming home. 42 of our sailors aren't coming home with us right now.
Damn. Wow.
Like, damn. So that happened in 1987, towards the end of May, beginning of June. And every year I would get, like, my PTSD. I would get emotional. I would get depressed. I'd be like, man, like, God, why am I here? God, why'd you bring me home? So from that moment until Hurricane Sandy, I didn't know what I was here for. Hurricane Sandy hits, and I was going through some personal times, and down on, bad situation in life that we don't have to get into, but had me down, feeling sorry for myself, not motivated like I usually am. Hurricane Sandy hits. I was like, all right, God, I hear you. My life's not that bad. I got people out here now with bigger problems than I do. I understand. Time for me to get back up and get back to work. So I get up, start going back to work, and one of the first calls I made was my normal Monday call to a restaurant in Tom's River called Muggsy's, where Jerry Rotunda was running the restaurant at the time. Every Monday I'd be there. Every Monday, Jerry and I'd sit at the end of the bar, talk shop, talk about how the weekend was, what he needs for the week. And all of a sudden I see two military kids walk in the front door. I'm like, wow, what's going on? What are you guys doing here? We're lost. We're looking for a place to eat. I'm like,
Yeah,
Sound like
me?
France all over again.
I said, God, are you serious right now?
But there was at least GPS at this point.
GPS, little Yelp. They probably, closest restaurant that's open. So they come in. I said, wow. I said,
Did you
"Come
treat
on
them
in."
to lunch?
I took them to lunch. I said, the least I could do is buy you guys lunch.
Wow.
I said, come on in. Sat them down at the end of the bar. Jerry
You
and I
didn't let
started
them
talking.
drink, did you?
No. They were still on duty. They were in uniform on duty. No drinking.
Good.
But they had a nice meal. So then I started talking to them. I said, well, Thanksgiving's coming up. What do you guys got planned for Thanksgiving? Oh, we have nothing planned. We're from Kentucky. We're here by ourselves. I was like, wow. I said, you know what? You do now. I said, you're coming to my house. I said, you're going to be my guest at my home. We're going to make you a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner. I said, matter of fact, you tell everyone over there helping us restore the shore that you're coming to my house for Thanksgiving. Cliff, that's great. But there's 350 of us.
Oh my God!
Cliff just put foot in mouth. Like Cliff's like, what did I just do here?
What did I do now? I said, man, when am I going to learn? When am I going to learn? Just keep the mouth shut.
The first
Jeez.
question is, how many guys are here?
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
you get that
Yeah,
number,
yeah.
then you're like, wow, you guys got to figure them out. You know, if it's 20, you're like, all right, I got it. If it's 200, you're like, do I really have it? 350, you're like, you know, Chef APG.
I said, nice to meet you guys. We'll get back. I said, all right, I committed to it. Let's go. Let's figure this out. So I go out to the car, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I said, there's one person to call. One person to call. I called Chef Mike from Atlantic Bar and Grill.
Yep.
I said, Mike, I just committed to feed 350 people. What the am I going to do? He says, we got this. Let's go.
How long have you known Mike from Atlantic Bar and Grill?
Man, Mike and I go back 30-something years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we have been tight for 30 years. That's
Wow.
been my boy.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
great.
we've been through a lot together.
Wow.
Yeah, we wherever Mike goes, he brings me with him. You know, we've been through a lot of work stuff together, a lot of personal stuff together. Mike has got the biggest heart. All he wants to do is give. All he wants to do is give. I didn't even have to ask him. I didn't even have to ask him what it entailed, what the details were. His first response is, let's go, we got this.
Wow.
And then we put it together after that.
And it wasn't PB&J's. It was
No, not Mike. Not if you go to Chef Mike.
No.
Chef Mike,
No.
no, he goes one way. Mike goes all out.
Man,
all
that's
out.
awesome.
So he calls all his friends, all his restaurant connections. I call all my food service connections. The word starts getting on the street that Chef Mike and Cliff are putting together this big meal for Thanksgiving. James from Ohana Grill calls and says, listen, I don't care what I do. I don't care if I peel potatoes. Whatever I can do next to Chef Mike, I'm in. Chef Andy from Waypoint calls. Wayne Dickinson, who was Mike's sous chef at the time, he's all in. Capone's, Jimmy from Capone's, he goes, Cliff, I got a bunch of ovens here. I can help you cook turkeys.
Yep.
Caffrey's finds out. He says, Cliff, I got some big ovens. I can make you about 400 pounds of mashed potatoes. Wow. Mulligan's calls. He goes, Cliff, I'll get you like 300 pounds of vegetables. So he said, all right, let's go. Start putting this dinner together. So at the time, Caffrey's was in Forked River. We were like, how are we going to cook all these turkeys, hold them overnight, and then have them for the next morning to carve? So Caffrey's had a bunch of holding ovens. Let us use those ovens, but didn't have enough cooking ovens. So right across the street on Route 9 was a place at the time called Rella's.
Uh-huh.
Rella's had a bunch of ovens. So remember that video game Frogger?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mike and I are at Rella's on one side of Route 9 cooking. All the sheet pan racks that you put all the turkeys in, we had to wheel that across Route 9 to put them in the Caffrey's to hold them overnight. We felt like we were playing the game Frogger. Like traffic's coming all over the place. Here we are trying to shuffle these sheet pans of turkeys through.
Oh, my.
Get them to Caffrey's. Caffrey's holds them overnight for us. We get them the next morning, and we bring everything to my house. Now, I'm talking a little standard kitchen, a little range, one little sink, little table, and we've got 6 chefs in there. We have 50 volunteers, and we are trashing the house. I mean, trashing the house. We set up this huge buffet in the garage. The manufacturers I work with, American Metalcraft, gave us a bunch of chafing dishes. Cambro gave us holding boxes, and we have it all ready, all set. One of our friends had a tent rental. So he gave us tables and chairs, a tent, had that all set up in the backyard to hold 100 people. Mike brings all the volunteers together, says, all right, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do 3 seatings of 100. We'll bring the first 100 in, get them fed, get them dessert, then they could go back, the next 100 will come in. Like, oh, that's a great plan. We got this. Mm-hmm. So we get ready to serve. We get ready to call the friend.
Sure.
He calls us and says, listen, we were just told we're not allowed to leave the island.
No. No.
What? You guys can't come here? He said, we are all ready for you. No, we're not allowed to leave the island. They closed off the island, the Seaside Bridge. No one's allowed to leave. No one was allowed to. They were all kind of looting and you know, it was becoming a mess over there. So they just said, just close it down.
Wow.
Like, now what?
Yeah, what do you do?
So out of our 50 volunteers, someone raised their hand. We're like, yeah. He goes, I'm a volunteer fireman. I'm like, okay. He goes, I can get us a fire truck. He goes, the fire truck's allowed to cross the bridge because we're considered a first respond vehicle.
Wow.
I said, wow. I said, all right, go get it. So he
Who
went.
would have thought he would be the man of the day?
The man in the day, a random guy out of 50 guys just happened to volunteer that day, happened to be a volunteer fireman.
Wow.
So he goes down to the firehouse. We start getting all the volunteers together. Like, listen, get on the line, get on the buffet. Here's to-go containers. Package up a meal for everyone. We'll put them in the driveway. We'll get it all lined up. And all of a sudden, we see the fire guy come back. I used to live at a cul-de-sac at the time. I see him coming down the street. I'm like, that's a big fire truck. I'm like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, he comes down closer. I'm like, what? He had a hook and ladder fire truck.
That's
brings the
awesome.
whole thing. I mean, clogs up my whole cul-de-sac. I'm like, wow.
Go in or
That's it.
go
All in.
big or go home, man. You got a fire truck on your block.
On my block, taking up the whole cul-de-sac. I'm like, let's go. We get all the volunteers, get all the bags of food. We load it up.
It must
onto
be
the fire
funny
truck.
to be a neighbor of yours.
Oh my gosh, they had so many questions. They're like,
What's
"What is
happening
going-
here? At
what
least
are you
it wasn't a
doing now?"
police call. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was. So then we loaded up the fire truck. Fire truck was allowed to cross the Seaside Bridge. He found all the pockets of first responders.
That's awesome.
And we delivered a hot meal. So the first responders were saying they were getting food donated, but cold food. And they had no power on the island. They said, so we had no way of heating up the food.
Yeah.
They said, you guys brought us a hot meal that we were able to eat
Yeah.
on the spot. It's like, wow, that was great.
That's incredible.
So after we do that meal, Chef Mike and I meet at Aqua Blue. And we recap the day. Like, Mike, what the hell did we just do, man? Like, I can't believe we got this done. I can't believe the house is trash. We got all this food donated. And then at the bar was the mayor of Manalocan over here in our conversation. He goes, I hope you guys don't mind, but I was just listening to what you guys are saying. He goes, I have a bunch of first responders in the Manalocan brick area. He goes, they would love a hot meal. I look at Mike. I said, I can't do that at my house again. I said, no way. Kathy, the owner of Aqua Blue, and her husband Enzo, were listening to the conversation also.
Oh, wow.
Kathy walks over and pulls out a set of keys, hands me her keys. She said, Cliff, use my restaurant. I'm like, what? So they have another restaurant called Cafe Italia on Route 37. She goes, you could use my restaurant. So I look at Mike. I said, let's go. Christmas Day. We're like, Mike, let's do this. So Christmas Day, we set up everything at Cafe Italia. We had Capone's, we had Ohana, we had Chef Mike, we had Chef Wayne. Everybody prep all this food. We brought it to Cafe Italia, made an assembly line, packaged 650 meals, had a bunch of volunteers this time to drive, and they drove.
Did the fire truck guy come
We
back?
d- The fire truck guy came back, but we didn't need the fire truck this
I know,
time.
but it would have been funnier if you brought it.
If we brought the fire truck. So that started our feeding of first responders and military. So that was Thanksgiving and that was Christmas. I said, this feels pretty good. This feels pretty good what we're doing. So it's starting to like give me some peace as to what I'm doing. So we do this now the next year. So it's now, so that was what, 2012. So 2015, my son just got his driver's license. So we're into this now. Now we're up to almost 1,100 meals that we do every holiday, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. So Christmas Day comes. Now this is, I'm talking my wife, my kids, our close friends would get up every Thanksgiving morning and every Christmas morning and volunteer their time to do this first.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, we had a nice, I mean, this is the greatest like feel good thing. So here it is, December 25th, 2015. Him and a friend go to make a delivery at a hotel. Knock on the door. Merry Christmas, here's a hot meal. Just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. The gentleman that opens the door is a veteran
Wow.
who had a gun loaded and was ready to commit suicide.
Wow.
If my son got there 10 seconds later, it would have been too late.
That's
So my son
incredible.
goes back out to the car. My son goes back out to the car, grabs 2 more meals, brings it back inside with him at the hotel. My son and his friend sit with this veteran, spent a half hour, and had Thanksgiving dinner with him.
That's amazing.
Nice.
And the veteran said, this is the first person I've seen in about 9 months.
Wow.
So he comes back, tells us that story. I'm like, wow. I said, our meal literally saved a life. I said, we can't wait till next Thanksgiving to go see this guy again. I said, we have to do more. I said, whew. I said, Easter's coming up. I said, it's still all volunteers. I said, it takes us time to get this meal together. It's not just something we could just buy and whip up. We have to get all, donations from everybody. I said, 3 months from now is Easter. We could do it for Easter, and another 3 months is 4th of July. So let's just do that. Let's do Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and 4th of July. Let's get them into a routine knowing we're coming back, knowing that they're going to see us again. Get them in a routine that, here comes company, here comes a friend, here comes someone who's going to bring you a hot meal and have a conversation with you. I said, that feels pretty good. I said, it was starting to answer my questions. Why am I here?
Yeah.
And again, this was all volunteer time. We did it, like I said, every Thanksgiving morning, Christmas morning. So it was very trying on the family. It was very, demanding on us. But we, had to do it.
Everybody pushed through.
So then, now we come up to, we help the Big Brothers Big Sisters. COVID comes, we switch gears. And during COVID is when Ralph, again, from Jersey Coast Appliance, reaches out to us through the American Legion with Pastor Schaefer and says, listen, Cliff.
Mike Schaefer.
Schaefer.
He's the freaking man.
Mike Schaefer.
Mike Schaefer. You know Mike Schaefer?
I do know.
Schaefer is the man.
So Mike Schaefer and Ralph Wolf sit us down and say, listen, we want to let you know that our active military.
Yeah, I know. I've had this conversation with Schaefer.
I said, what do you mean? The active military is struggling. The active military in New Jersey is living in welfare, in poverty level. I'm like, what? So during the time of COVID is when it got even worse because the non-active spouse had to give up their jobs because they weren't allowed to leave the base, come back from the base. And so the only salary they depended on was the active military salary, which is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So state of New Jersey doesn't have on-base housing available for our military. So the government issues them a monthly check, a family of 4. How much do you think a family of 4 is given by the government to live in New Jersey?
I mean, I would hope like $5,000, but probably what, $1,000?
$1,800. $1,800.
I was going to say $2,000, so I feel pretty good like I was close.
Close. Well, what's the average rate in New Jersey?
Oh, it's well more.
28, $3,000. So they're starting in the hole minus $1,200.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they start out. And then most of the non-active spouse can't get a job yet because there's no daycare available.
Yep. And I also heard from Schaefer, licenses don't carry over. So if you're a barber or a hairdresser or
School
a
teacher,
nurse,
nurse.
there's some of these licenses.
There's like
aren't
150,
state
I think
to state.
145 licenses won't transfer into New Jersey. So it's like, really?
Ridiculous, yeah.
So
And they
there's-
have Colts Neck, which it's more
Oh,
expensive.
Earl,
Like Lakehurst, there's housing
Cost of
that
living go up.
is lower there. But in Colts Neck, I mean, where are you going to live?
Yeah.
I know.
So, I mean, once I heard that, fired me up. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I said, there's no way. Once the military's in your blood, it's in your blood for life. And these are my brothers and sisters. There's no way my family is going to be treated like this. No way. Now, I can't help salaries. I can't help this. I said, so what can we do? And again, Chef Mike, first person I go to. Why is it always I go to Chef Mike when I need a problem solved?
But you also had that big party, that big announcement party.
Yes, remember that? Yeah, so you were involved with that where
I got invited. I was on the VIP list.
Well, and you know what? It's a good thing because you are the one who helped us, have to make this big change we had to make. We had to make a big change.
We had to build a website.
We
had to get email addresses for you.
Yeah.
We had to get marketing materials for you.
Yeah.
We had to get...
I mean, you stepped up big time where...
Still did more photos and videos.
Right? I mean, I thought about that too in the ride up here. I said, Tom was key in helping us make this change. This change I had to make drastically on the fly. You talk about mutiny, you talk about all this stuff, and that's, personal stuff I have. I have, whatever. So it's just, dealing with that stuff personally and just trying to maintain a professional business.
Yep.
And this organization, I mean, listen, running a charity, running an organization is like running a business.
Same.
It's
It's actually more paperwork.
more paperwork, more processes, more headaches.
More double checking.
More double checking. So you need someone, you need an organization that's going to help you.
You need a wingman. That's what
You need a wing. You need a wingman.
You need a wingman.
Why do we call it wingman? There it is.
It's on the wall.
There it is. So
There's your sign right there.
Yeah, right.
Like one of those moments. So it's like, you helped us, cross that bridge and be able to fight for the active military. So our purpose with Dine On Us is to provide dining and entertainment for these families that are struggling to do so for themselves. So we create casino night. Our biggest one they love is chef tasting. And guess who started chef tasting?
Chef Mike.
Chef Mike. I can't wait to meet Chef Mike one day.
You never met Chef Mike?
I haven't met Chef Mike
His
yet.
food is on point at Atlantic Bar and Grill down in Seaside.
So I say Mike, Chef Mike is like our aircraft carrier of our battle group.
Mm-hmm.
He is our anchor.
Yeah.
He is our
That's
ship.
amazing.
That just
Keeps
controls
going.
just keeps going. So we create this event called Chef Tasting. And we have 25 of our restaurants that set up sampling. It's open to the public. So the public buys tickets. We raise money. The money we raise, we purchase tickets so the active military could join us.
Come.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now we have like 100 active military
That's
to join
awesome.
us for that.
That's awesome.
So that's like our big fundraising event. And then Tom this year, again with Wingman. What and helping the military is so satisfying because they look for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They look for nothing. They ask for nothing. But when we're just offering them goodwill for no reason at all. So my experience from France, I said, is a random act of kindness. I said, that's what we do now. We provide random acts of kindness.
Mm-hmm.
No catches, no hooks.
Yep.
This is just out of the kindness of our hearts. This is how we want you to remember your experience in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you saying, you were broke, you couldn't go out to eat, you couldn't experience the shore. We want you to go out.
Wow.
So what we also do is we do stuff on the base. And this is where Wingman helped us this year, is we do family night out. So we create, one of our restaurant partners, a nice, beautiful dinner for the parents to come out. And this year, Tom, with your toy
Wingman
drive,
Foundation.
Wingman Foundation and his toy drive. How many toys did you donate? A couple hundred?
A couple hundred toys.
A couple hundred toys. And you got us
Gift cards.
gift cards to ShopRite.
Yep.
And
for a turkey.
And all the fixings.
And the fixings to go
Yeah.
along with Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. So here we are at the end of November, Parents' Night Out. Most of the parents, so the base rotates every couple years. So this is like our second or third year. So some of the parents are brand new, don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they walk into this room, they see this big, beautiful dinner buffet set up for them. They see Christmas trees everywhere, and each Christmas tree has a different age. 2 to 4, 6 to 8, and under each tree are all the Wingman toys.
Nice.
So they got to eat
Up high
this
on
beautiful.
that one.
They got to eat this beautiful dinner. After their dinner, they got to shop. So each parent got to shop
Oh, that's awesome.
for toys for their kids.
That's great.
And then, not done yet, Wingman provided gift card for a ShopRite turkey and a bag of fixings so they can make their own Thanksgiving
Yep.
dinner.
Perfect.
I said, this is what we want you to talk about and pay forward 20 years from now when you have the opportunity. We hope you could do this. We hope you pay it forward. You use your experience in New Jersey to talk about
To remember.
To remember. I said, when you guys go out to sea and you're
Yeah.
on the water for 40 days, I want you to talk about, man, I was at Martell's. We had lobster.
Yep.
We had prime
Yeah.
rib. I said,
That's awesome. That's so cool.
From a plate of steak and eggs.
from a plate of steak and
You're
eggs.
doing great things. So Dine On Us. So Dine On Us is helping the active military in Colts Neck and in Lakehurst,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And now, some of the events you do. So you do a casino night.
Yes.
You do the
Chef
tasting.
tasting, yep.
And then you do. Then the rest of the events are for the active military guys to take them to different places and
Yeah.
do different things, right?
Yeah, so we do, and that's our mission kind of merged into that, where we're doing fundraisers and doing things for the military. We say, well, why not just do them both at once?
Yep.
So chef tasting was a perfect example.
Yeah.
Let's raise money and have. So it was a way of us to bring our active military families with our non-active military families and merge together. And it,
That's
just to
great.
see them hang out, at the Martell's event, we'll have a DJ and they're dancing it's great. My wife and I have actually become friendly and friends with the XO of the base, the CO of the base. And it's just, we've developed like relationships and
That's
friendships.
great. That's so cool.
And it's just, and again, so like I said, for 30 years, I asked God, why'd you bring me home? Why am I here? And now with this mission, I see my purpose. And what's great again is I can't do that without first my family.
Yep.
My wife Terry, she's been unbelievably supportive. My kids, I mean, they're all in. They all help me. They all support me. It's again very trying. I have a full-time job I'm trying to maintain. I got a charity I'm trying to maintain. I've got other things going on in my life. So it's like,
You got to play pickleball.
got to play pickleball. Oh, we haven't even talked about pickleball yet.
Yo,
Man. So real quick about pickleball. So,
you're going long.
all right, we got to end this.
No. We don't end it, but we got to start. We got to keep the audience interested. I mean, I'm interested.
I want to know about pickleball, though.
I'm fascinated.
All right, so I got a good friend, Joel, who played basketball with forever, quit basketball. We got too big, too old for it. Started taking up pickleball. He ran a fundraiser for us in Toms River, New Jersey, at the Bailey pickleball courts, packed. And he brought in professional pickleball players. And we invited the active military to play with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now the pros were playing with the active military. I said, Joel, that just made their day.
Yeah.
I said, they're going to talk about this forever.
Forever.
Is how great? And then Joel surprised us and invited the commanding officer of the Earl base. And he came all the way to Toms River to talk on our behalf, to talk about what Dine On Us has done for his military, for his base, and for his troops.
That's awesome.
I'm like, that was like the most flattering honor. The commanding officer
That's awesome.
came, 40 minutes away, just so he could say, Dine On Us has had such an impact. He goes, in the past, we wouldn't have people show up for any event. Now they see the Dine On Us logo and see the name, they sign up before they even know what's going on. They say, we just know it's going to be good.
Yeah, we know it's gonna be good. And you did that thing at Spicy's the one time.
We had the
You had the Shubu trolleys with
How
you.
great was that?
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That was great.
So now, what's this dink gear?
So this is something that, again, you never know where your connection is going to come from, and this is another, good friends of ours that were developed through COVID. Farrow Tees, Dominic and Lisa Farrow, have become like great friends of ours, and it all started again through COVID. And they have a print shop, a apparel store, and they said, Cliff, why don't you create some type of pickleball line that can help you raise money for the active military? So we created Dink Gear. Go to dinkgear.net, a website created by Wingman. Boom. That every purchase you make of either shirts, a sweatshirt, we have hats, we have some great gear. When you make this purchase, the proceeds are then donated to Dine On Us.
That's great.
And then Dine On Us could provide more.
That's a great way to easily generate extra.
I mean, listen,
Again, if people want the shirt,
pickleball gear.
yeah.
Everybody wants pickleball gear. We got some great slogans. Dropping dinks all day. Dink gear, where it's legal to dink and drive. Like, come on.
There you go.
That's good.
Was that yours?
That's actually a friend came up with that one.
You got to sell these at the orthopedics so that they're always going in there.
Well, that's where all the pickleball players
Pickleball
come.
good. Listen, I have to say, I mean, hearing your story, first off, thank you for your service, but thank you for your service to our community. I think a lot of times, yes, when you truly have a heart to serve people, there is a sacrifice, and you and your family have done that. And so, on behalf of my family, and I thank you for what you do, because it's important. If we don't care, nobody will. And man, I honor that. So
Well, thank you.
thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
that's motivation that helps
Yeah.
us stay motivated. Like, to hear it, to feel the appreciation.
That's why I always text you, the man.
See that? Randomly, 10 o'clock, 11. I'm like, why is Tom up?
Yeah.
Send me text.
You the man.
But thank you.
No,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I appreciate that.
So this is really great. I love what you're doing. And the best part about today is that Cliff is donating to a special podcast listener 2 tickets to Casino Night, which is on February 2nd, 2025 at Aqua Blue. Now, if you were listening earlier in the conversation, Aqua Blue has a special place in Cliff's heart, and it's from noon to 5 p.m., and that's in Toms River. This is a $50 gaming. You get a $50 gaming chip included in these tickets. So we'll be raffling off 2 tickets. We'll figure out a way to figure out who's the winner, and maybe they'll make a donation back to Dine On Us as a good deed.
Nice. And also let them know we'll leave some dink gear here behind.
We'll leave
if they
some
want
dink
to,
gear. So if anybody's looking to get dink gear, so you go to dinkgear.net. That's dinkgear.net. And you can find some different apparel that you could purchase. And then the proceeds of the shirts and apparel will go right to Dine On Us, which is a great cause
sir.
that the Pharaohs is working on with Cliff.
Yeah. And please share this, let everybody know about the organization. I
Yeah.
think you can play a part in the bigger story, right? You don't have to cook, right? You don't have to feed, but just sharing the story is the bigger part, right? I mean, let's help as many families.
And
as
there's
we can.
always opportunities. If you don't want to cook or clean or deliver, you want to go to the events, go to the wine tasting, go to the chef tasting, go to the casino night. That helps helps other people be able to get tickets once funds are raised. So anything you can do, and reach out to Cliff. He's a great guy to know. He's the man of town in Toms River, Ocean County area, knows everybody, and is a great connector to help nonprofits continue to do great things. So as we wrap up, let people know where they can find you.
DineOnUs.org.
DineOnUs.org. It was a pleasure to have you on today.
This was great.
You're the
Great
man.
to see you again. You're the man. Thank you. Thank
Pleasure
you guys.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.